Yellow. It's me with a special guest today, Baby B. Anyways, 10 pieces of advice I would give to my younger self. Whenever you can recognize something that you have learned that you wish maybe you learned sooner, be grateful that you've learned it now. Move on with that lesson. Don't look back as a way of regret. Look back to see everything that you've learned. Because that's exactly how I found these 10 pieces of advice today. Things that I've learned throughout my 20s that I think really benefited me. So I think if I had learned them sooner, it would have benefited me even more. Number 10, leave your hometown. I'm not saying to go travel across the world. I'm not saying go backpacking for months on end in a foreign country. I'm not saying that you need to leave as soon as you turn 18 and go to the other side of the country. I just need you to understand that the world is a huge place. It's huge. We have so much diversity in people, in places, in jobs, technology. And how are you really going to explore what you like, what you dislike, what you enjoy, what you love, what you're passionate about if you never leave and you only know one perspective? Take road trips every now and then to some neighboring towns, some neighboring cities. Have something that you can compare your hometown experience with to see if you really enjoyed it or not. Maybe you hate it. Maybe you love it. Maybe you'll live there forever. Who knows? Number 9 is forgive. Forgive. And I don't know why this is such a hard concept for us to get when we're younger. Now that I'm older, I really do see the importance of it. And when that anger and that resentment lives in your heart, it controls you. You're not doing anything for anybody else. You need to forgive yourself for putting yourself in that position, having that perspective, your actions, whatever. You need to forgive whoever else is involved, and you need to move on because life is still continuing. Life goes on. Take the lesson and move on. Forgive, move on. Period. Not saying forget, not saying dismiss it all, but just forgive and move on. Take the lesson. If that lesson is to separate yourself from people, separate yourself from them. If that lesson is you overreact, then take that and grow. Forgive, move on. Number 8, be open-minded to things that you don't agree with. Maybe people are talking down on you. Maybe you do know more than what they believe. Doesn't matter. Especially if you don't understand something, be open-minded to it. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. Maybe you'll learn something new that might change your perspective. It might solidify your perspective, or it might veer you away. That knowledge is so important. At the very least, it'll solidify your belief. Especially if you don't agree with it. You might learn something that you find out negates your whole belief. But you want to know, don't you? Number 7, take people for who they are. Don't try to fix people. Don't try to change people. You can expect the best from somebody, but still that doesn't change the fact of what they have shown you in the past. If somebody is always showing you good things, loyalty, friendliness, kindness, don't expect that they're just gonna screw you over out of nowhere. If somebody keeps screwing you over, don't expect them to have your back. Take people for who they are. Watch. Be aware. Think. Don't be surprised when a snake hisses at you. Don't be surprised when a dog barks at you. Number 6, protect your character, not your reputation. Your reputation is what people think about you, what people say about you. Your character is who you are and the facts, what you have done. I hear a lot of people acting angry or aggressively at times, and they will say a statement like, "I was so mad they took me out of my character." No, they didn't, honey. That's your character. Character is who you are and what you do, not what people say you do or think you do. Protect that. And nobody can tell you what your character is. And only surround yourself with people that are gonna build that and grow that. People with characters that you admire or might help you with something. Birds of a feather, people. Number 5, getting to the really good ones. Get comfortable apologizing. If you are comfortable in a position of apologizing, it will be easy for you to change errors, change mistakes, and face those darkest corners of yourself. It's important to realize when you've made a mistake so that you can fix that, so that you can better that, and so that you can better yourself, better your life. It's all about betterment of self. And in turn, that's the betterment of others, betterment of the world if you want to continue. There are times when we might continue an argument knowing we're wrong, just out of stubbornness, out of ego. That's so dangerous. Things can escalate. That's your character too. A lot of these points tie in together. You need to protect that character by getting comfortable apologizing. If you're wrong about something, if you have a wrong way of doing something, if you've mistaken something, you should want to correct yourself. You should strive for that. Don't be so defensive at the thought of apologizing. Get comfortable with it. Number 4, instead of worrying about who's real, who's fake, who's a good friend, who's supportive, who checks up on you, who does everything that you want these people to do, worry about yourself. Are you real? Are you a good friend? Are you supportive? Are you checking up on the people that you care about? Are you following through with what you say? Are you being an integrable person? So all this time spent on others is just a way to distract ourselves from looking at ourselves. You need to be looking within. Are you doing these things? And if the answer is yes, 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 I'm perfect, I do all these things, then find more ways to improve. But don't you ever sit there and judge another person, especially the people that are close to you, especially the people that you care about. Look within to fulfill those standards. Ooh, so my favorite one. Number 3, prioritize your passion. Take the time not only discover but explore what your passions are and your reasons for loving these things. It's not something that you get to if you have the time. It shouldn't be, at least. I feel like people get too caught up in somebody else's standards, whether it be society's, their parents, their families, their friends, whatever. Common one is go to school, go to college, get a job, get a spouse, have a baby, get a house. That's not for everybody. And the second you realize that a path is not for you, you should immediately turn to this piece of advice and explore your passions. You're supposed to build your whole life around your passions and things you love, ideally, right? How are you gonna do that when you've never taken the time when you've never surfed or been in the ocean? Really, somewhere inside, marine life sets your shoes on fire, man. You never know. If you're living in the mountains your whole life and you just daydream about the beach, maybe it's not because it's different. Maybe it's because that's what's in your heart. Explore your passions. Prioritize it. Don't put it off until you hope to get time. Prioritize that shit. Prioritize that stuff. Also helps you figure out what you stand for. It can help you figure out the beliefs that are close to you. And you need to know what you're passionate about. It will tell you so much about yourself, and that information can be used to build your life with. Who are you building this life for? An imaginary person in your head? Come on. Number 2, also a really good one. Get comfortable speaking in public. Get comfortable with public speaking. The benefits that you learn from this, you can apply to so many areas of your life. If you're comfortable speaking your mind and making a point in front of an audience, you will be more comfortable to open up with yourself. You'll be more comfortable communicating with others. It's a good communication practice. And communication is necessary to be aware with yourself, communication with self. We live in a world with a freaking million other people, billions, other trillions. I don't even know how many number of people. Communication leads to awareness, openness, understanding, enlightenment. God, I can continue and on and on and on. Build your confidence and get comfortable in a position where you may not know how somebody's gonna react, but you are confident enough to speak your mind. Great character building tool, I think. And number 1, the big kahuna. Number 1. So this one, you hear it all the time. It might sound a little overrated, but the lessons I have learned from really understanding and applying this are I couldn't be more impressed with how big one thing can change your life. Be true to who you are. And when you unpack that statement, and this might be for maybe a little bit more younger of an audience, but if you have a crush on somebody, have a crush on them. If you don't enjoy somebody's company, don't be around them. I don't care who likes them. Don't be around them. If you like an unpopular activity, do it. If you have unpopular views, doesn't matter. If your preferences differ than a lot of people closest to you and they condemn you for it, be true to who you are. That is the number one important piece of advice I would give to my younger self and younger viewers. All of these pieces, I think, are amazing things that I have learned throughout my 20s, and really the things that I think help shape mature, objective understanding of things. That's the point, is understanding, knowledge, growth. Cheers.